Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Unity. I'm Reverend Marla Mason. It's a blessing, a pleasure, truly an honor to serve as your minister. Um, Most of you know I've been gone the last 3 weeks. I've been unexpectedly out. Let me quit my email so we don't get any more dings. I've been unexpectedly out because my mother became very seriously ill in a pretty short period of time, and she made her transition on June 13th. And it feels important to me this morning to open with letting you know how grateful I am for the loving spiritual community that supported me in taking so much time away unexpectedly, that supported me with your cards and your letters and your prayers and your thoughts, your phone calls, your messages. I felt so deeply loved this last 3 weeks. And it was an interesting experience for me to be in the midst of, because I got to face my false belief that somehow I have to be doing something for you in order for you to support me. And I just had to let myself be supported for 3 weeks. And I deeply appreciate not just the support, but also the opportunity to engage in that lesson. And that is the core of our teaching, isn't it? We're here to learn and grow and evolve. And so thank you for giving me an opportunity to learn and grow and evolve. And thank you also deeply for your support. It has been a powerful time of transition and grief for me. I also want to acknowledge that today in Seattle, anyway, it's Pride Sunday. It's Pride Month, all month, the month of June. It's a time that we honor our lesbian and gay, bi, trans, queer plus brothers and sisters and human beings. It's a time that we say God expresses in oh so many beautiful and powerful ways, and that expression takes different shape and different form in the context of sexuality. And so today, as we step into the theme of beauty for the last Sunday, this month of June, I just want to honor those people whose sexual expression is whatever it may be. And this month in particular, we honor and we support our lesbian, gay, queer, bi, trans, whatever, brothers and sisters, those human beings whose sexual expression is not what we think of as typical necessarily. And so let's just be present to the fact that it is the big day for that community, and celebrate with them and honor them. So welcome into that environment of inclusion and acceptance and love for all of God's expression. We have a terrific special guest today. I'm really grateful to welcome all the way from Hawaii. I don't know if you saw her aloha message in our chat this morning. Take a look at that. Faith Rivera is joining us from Hawaii, and she's going to help us center in the awareness of our divinity with some music. Go ahead, Faith. So good to see you. Welcome.
Thank you. Aloha, everyone. And as you were sharing, Reverend Marla, I'm just so happy to be here with you. My last memory, my last summer that I came to Seattle, it was a Pride Day, and those streets were lit up, colorful. I won't even tell you what I saw. Or you know what I saw. You know what I saw.
I've been there.
Yeah. It was probably you. Okay, that's that kind of joy. I'm going to start this first song. It's called Together. And, our mics are muted, but it doesn't mean that you can't sing along, and just tap into that joy. So, how amazing. I'm remembering all that joy I had being in your beautiful state. So it goes like this. Together, we take a stand for love. Together, we make a change for good. Oh, together we break the chains of sorrow. Oh, together we live the truth. raise our voice for peace. Oh, together we sing and jump for joy. Oh, together we move. Oh, we groove. Yeah, we dance. Oh, together we live the truth. Oh, yes. 'Cause in every part of me there's a part of you. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. All right, all right. And when I'm loving me, I'm loving you. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. All right, all right. Today we live the truth and the future's bright. Oh, 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 the future's bright. Oh, 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 together we walk our talk with spirit. Oh, together we boldly shape our dreams. Oh, together we share this life of freedom. Oh, together we live the truth. And here's the truth. Oh, in every part of me there's a part of you. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. All right, you sing, all right. And when I'm loving me, I'm loving you. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. All right, all right. Today we live the truth and the future's bright. Oh, 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 the future's bright. Oh, 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 we live and breathe this one. With kindness and compassion we free our love. We free our light. We free the truth. And the future's bright. Together we take a stand for love. Together we make a change for good. Oh, together we break the chains of sorrow. Oh, together we live the truth. Oh, yes. 'Cause in every part of me there's a part of you. Oh, yeah, oh, yeah. All right, all right. And when I'm loving me, I'm loving you. Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, today we live the truth and the future's bright. Oh, 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 the future's bright. Oh, 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 the future's bright. Oh, oh. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Faith. We are so blessed. Let's turn within and recognize the blessing. We take a stand for love this morning. We take a stand for truth. As we open our hearts and minds to all that is about to unfold, we anchor in the awareness of love. We anchor in the awareness that there is only one life. That life is God's life. It is the very life we live. And so we simply say yes to its divine expression in our lives and in our gathering, our celebration service this morning. I give thanks for those who have said yes, who have kept the divine appointment to be with us this morning, to open, to grow, to learn, to evolve, to simply say yes to the power of love. And so I open this celebration with a grateful heart, calling it good and very good, knowing it is an epicenter of love, of power and of grace. I give thanks for it all, and I turn it over to the infinite mind that knows how to do it so very, very well. And so it is. Amen. Welcome, everyone. We are going to have our affirmation. And what I invite you to do is to listen to it once. I'm going to read through it once, and then I will invite you to declare our affirmation with me. It goes like this. I look for and I find beauty everywhere as I am led to ever greater expressions of my creative self. I am a conscious creator of beauty, and I delight in every moment of my life. And so it is. Please join me with conviction. Speak these words. I look for and I find beauty everywhere as I am led to ever greater expressions of my creative self. I am a conscious creator of beauty, and I delight in every moment of my life. And so it is. Faith?
Hi. So this song came from a real place. Well, I guess all my songs do. But this one in particular, I think, speaks to the moment we're in right now, all together on this planet, making it through this storm and finding the beauty, as you said, Marla, and the gifts that are here for us. I've had my share of heartache and sorrow, moments of sadness and lonely despair. I've been down on my knees, begging life please to take this burden I bear. I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts this storm may bring. There's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. Yes, these clouds are lifting me. Lord knows I've tried to run from these battles, but each time I circle to where I began, I can't seem to move on till the learning is done. So teach me the perfection there. I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me into a greater way of being. I'm ready to receive all the gifts this storm may bring. Oh, there's a deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. Yes, these clouds are lifting. They're lifting me, raise me up to the next glorious mountain. I will love each valley and peak. Yes, there will be a new me for certain. With every step, every turn, my God's waiting there. My greatness, it dares. I embrace this pain that I feel, for I know it's birthing me deeper sense within of God unfolding. My light is growing. There's peace in knowing. Yes, these clouds are lifted. I'm so grateful. Ooh, it's lifting me higher, making me stronger, moving me forward on to a greater me. Ooh, I'm so grateful for the gifts the storm may bring.
Thank you, Faith. I'm so grateful for that song, and I'm so grateful for this time. As I mentioned at our opening, the last 3 weeks I've been very engaged with supporting my mother as she made her transition. And in the 2 weeks since then, she actually passed on June 13th. In the 2 weeks since then, as you know, there's always much to be done. And it's a painful time. And it's a time in which everything else fell away. Have you been in a time like that before? Everything, literally everything. I didn't look at the news. I didn't answer my phone. I didn't look at my email. I didn't, everything else fell away for about 2 of those 3 weeks. And one thing that was super interesting to me is that when I began to pay attention to anything other than my mother again, there was a new civil rights movement happening. And although it had begun to form before I went into focusing only on my mom, and we had seen, some early state when I came out of that place and I looked at the news and I went, oh my word, it's still happening. There really is a shift that's happening in the realm of form, in the world of form. And the shift is happening in form because the shift is happening in consciousness. We are changing. And it's kind of painful right now. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling like, world pandemic, new civil rights movement, lots of collective angst, the transition of my mom, all of it feels like a lot right now, and it's kind of painful. In some ways, it's deeply painful. And yet, what an opportunity for transition. What an opportunity for renewal. What an opportunity to say, yeah, let's just revel in the chaos for a while. Let's just be present to what's happening. Your board of trustees was on retreat this weekend. I have to tell you, it's the oddest, unretreatist retreat I've ever been in. We met at our building. It was the first time we've had any function in our building in quite some time. We met at our building in the fellowship hall. Each board member had their own table. We were the rule was when we were at our tables we could be unmasked, but if we were up and walking around or doing anything, we needed to be wearing our masks and protecting one another in that way. And it was a time of embracing a willingness to not know what's going to happen. It was a time of embracing the opportunity that we've been given as an organization and dare I say, each one of us as individuals, we've been given an opportunity to embrace not knowing what's going to happen next. We've been given an opportunity to say, wow, there's so many unknowns. The book that the board has been reading calls it liminality. We're in this liminal period where nobody, literally no one knows what's going to happen. And part of why we were reading this book, we chose this book because it's actually focused directly toward for spiritual communities. You know, our culture is evolving, and no one knows exactly what's going to happen, and what spirituality and what worship and what celebration and spiritual community is going to look like in 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 or 50 years. And how do you lead and how do you plan not knowing what things are going to be like? And so it that's the purpose of the book. But God bless us, and God bless God for giving us this book at this time, because when we selected this book, we didn't know we were going to be in the middle of a pandemic and doing online church and doing all kind of things like we've never done it this way before, and we don't really know how. And yet here we are in the midst of that experience. And so I believe in divine order. I believe that the universe in that book, like we were keeping a divine appointment with the book that would support us in moving through that time. And so I invite you to join your board of trustees and me in a consciousness that there is great shift, amazing transition happening in our culture and in our world. And we don't know what's going to happen. But I promise you, I believe those holy and sacred words, the universe is in a conspiracy for our good. And I promise you, it is for good, that a great and mighty good is coming out of this experience of isolation, perhaps, of illness and loss in some families, in many families, of cultural transition. And, you know, if you live in King County, you might have gotten a letter from the sheriff this morning, the King County sheriff. I received that talking about how they're addressing, it's inconvenient, frankly, living in the middle of a time of social upheaval and social change can be inconvenient. And this letter was addressing the inconvenience of roads having to be closed at times, I-5 having to be closed at times in order to keep protesters safe who are in the streets. And it is inconvenient. If I want to get somewhere and protesters have I-5 closed, that's inconvenient for me. And yet, can we just get comfortable with the fact that our tiny lives are inconvenienced for the sake of a greater vision of love and inclusion and grace? And if I can't get where I need to go right now because people are in the streets advocating for civil rights for everyone, maybe I can just let it go and get comfortable with my discomfort. And maybe I just need to get out of my car and get in the streets. Wearing a mask, of course. And so I say all this because our theme this month is beauty. And we've been talking about, and I haven't been with you, but I understand that at least some of our guest speakers have been talking with you about the beauty of the soul and about creating beauty in the world, and what a beautiful thing it will be when inclusion really is the norm, that it's not just lip service, that we don't just say we include everyone, but we really include everyone. And, I spoke earlier about, that it's Pride Sunday, and our LGBTQ plus family has been so spiritually disenfranchised historically. And what a blessing. I mean, part of why New Thought means so much to me is we have always been inclusive. We've always been gender inclusive, and we've always been sexual orientation inclusive. And that means so much to me to be part of an organization like that. And I say New Thought generally. I think there are pockets that perhaps have not been. But in general, New Thought has been very inclusive. And yet, we always have more work to do. And so in the context of beauty, how do we create a beautiful world in which all are included? In which inclusion is the norm, in which we don't have to be blocking traffic in the streets, because our norm, our normal is that everyone has a place, everyone has basic civil rights, everyone's basic needs are met. And that to me would be a beautiful world. And so when I think about the soul of beauty, and I think about what beauty means, and I think about what the world might look like with no beauty. In fact, take a moment and think about, imagine for a moment, a world with no beauty. Whatever it is you hold as beautiful does not exist. And it's a bit of a bleak place, isn't it? Lacking richness. See, something in us needs beauty. Something in us needs beauty. And if we think about beauty as that which is pleasing, that which is lovely, a lot of times beauty is defined in terms of symmetry or lack of symmetry, perhaps balance. And beauty takes many, many forms: art, actions, ideas, music. It takes so many different forms, but the thing that it has, the thing that it brings up in us is always an emotional reaction. And it's not always a positive emotional reaction. I have seen dark things that I can see the beauty in them. And that perhaps the emotional reaction is not a positive one, but there is one, and I can find a sense of satisfying beauty in them. And so beauty is that which is pleasing, that which is whole, that which is complete, that which is in balance. And we are called to express beauty, and God is beauty. And I believe that's why we are called to express beauty. We are here to express the divine, right? That's why we're on the planet. We are here, we are created in the image and likeness of the infinite, and we are here to express its beingness. We are here for God to know itself better by expressing as us. And if God is beauty, then beauty must be part of our expression. And that's why a world with no beauty feels so uncomfortable. So how do we create more beauty? How do we create a world in which divine expression is the norm? And I don't mean that everyone is expressing God in our way, right? Because inclusion means we all get to express our own divinity in the way that is most meaningful to us. How to be more divine, how to express more divinity, how to express more love. Simply means how do we express more beauty? Because it's all the same thing. And so I invite you into the idea that that is our call, perhaps, and our opportunity. And that if indeed we are here on planet Earth to express the divine more fully, then let's just be about it, because perhaps that's what ugly is, when we're inhibiting the expression of the divine. Perhaps that is the definition when we are inhibiting the expression of God as beauty, as God as love. Yeah, perhaps that is what ugly, perhaps that is what hate is. And when we are in the full expression of our divinity, how can we exclude anyone? How can we hate anyone? How can we be distressed at our inconvenience created by those who are saying yes to taking a stand for those who have traditionally been excluded? And so I have some thoughts about how to create some beauty, how to express God more fully, and especially now, because these are challenging times. And I don't know about you, but when I surround myself with beauty, my heart becomes more peaceful. And that can allow me to be more present to the pain, to the birth of something new that's taking place in our culture, and certainly in my life as I adapt to a world that doesn't have my mom in it. Like, what's my new way of being? As we adapt to a culture that is more loving, more inclusive, more present to the needs of everyone, as we open our hearts more and more fully to our opportunity to support others in staying healthy by isolating, by masking, by social distancing. How can we create some beauty in our lives to make all of that more effortless, to support us in being all that God would have us be in the face of all of these opportunities? And so my thoughts about that are for you to create some beauty for you. And that might be anything. I don't know if y'all know, but I like to do art, and I'm a super bad artist. I don't show anybody my art because I'm just not that good at it. But there's a joy in the creation of it. And although I might look at it with a critical eye and say, well, that's not very good art, there is a part of me that feels the beauty of expression. And it doesn't have to be beautiful by anybody's standards but mine. The beauty of expression is enough. I like to write poems. Most of my poems aren't that good. Every once in a while, I rip off a pretty good one. In my opinion. I mean, who knows if anybody else would ever think any of these poems are any good. But there is a beauty in the process of composition, and there is a beauty in the going back and reading them and being present to them that calms my heart, that opens my soul. And so in these times when we are having the opportunity to say yes in a new way to expressing more beauty, more divinity, just sit down, get quiet, create some bad art, write a bad poem, sing an ugly song. Be in the creative process and appreciate its beauty as an expression of the divine. See, God is beauty. And when we express, the human form doesn't matter. It is the essence of beauty in itself. So create something beautiful for yourself. Or create something beautiful for someone else. It's funny, when I was thinking about this Friday morning, I was thinking, one of the things I want to say is I want to encourage people to create something beautiful for someone else. And, my eye just happened to land on this little prayer bundle, which I want to share with you. This is my prayer bundle, and it's super beautiful. And someone made this for me 25 years ago. And what it is, at least 25 years ago, it's some sticks tied up in string and a few cut, rough cut pieces of cloth. And then it's kind of all bound up with this. And when she gave it to me, she said, "This is your prayer bundle," which I had never heard of. And she said, you know, each stick is a prayer. Like she prayed over each stick. And she made this beautiful little prayer bundle for me. And now it sits on my altar. And I use it as kind of an anchoring when I pray. And what a beautiful thing that somebody just randomly did for me. She showed up with this one day and said, here. She created something of beauty for me, and 20, 25 years later, it still rests on my altar. I admire it. It's pleasing to me. It creates a sense of loveliness in my life. And I'm so grateful to have it. And it reminds me of her every day. Create something beautiful for someone else. You might do something beautiful for your environment. You know, Patty and I, it's so funny. The week before we all went into isolation, Patty and I had purchased some new furniture, and we had, printed some of her photographs and framed them. And she and I, we had moved all the furniture in our family room and really created a whole new environment in there. Literally the week before shutdown orders. And we were like, oh my gosh, we get to isolate in this new, beautiful environment. And nobody's seen it yet but us. And I have to say that's hard because I like to have a little housewarming, you know, when I do something cool and beautiful and new. And, you know, I want to have people over to enjoy it, you know, and see its beauty. But I got to tell you, we've been just like reveling in the beauty of having this clean, beautiful, reorganized space that has Patty's artwork, her photography up on the wall, and comfortable furniture, and it's clean and it's beautiful. We created beauty for our environment. Perhaps for you, that would be a garden. Perhaps it's reorganizing a room. Perhaps it's cleaning a closet. There's order and symmetry in cleaning a closet. Create some beauty for your environment. And in these ways, you have the opportunity to center in the divine in the midst of what feels like, what can feel like chaos, disorder, separation, anxiety, inconvenience. And then when we are in the place where we're uncomfortable or perhaps feeling inconvenienced, we can recall, because we're anchored in the divinity that we are, because we are creators and perpetuators of great beauty in the world. We can recall and anchor and center in that truth when things feel difficult, when things feel challenging, when the pain starts to make itself known to us. We have to have the vision to see everything as beautiful, even the pain, even the discomfort, even the not being able to get where I want to go, even the grieving the loss of my mom, even having to stay home and be isolated and alone. That there's beauty in all things, and we can have the spiritual vision to see the truth that in the midst of all kinds of loss, pain, disruption is beauty. And in order to do that, we have to set our hearts right. We were talking about this at the board retreat yesterday. We see things not as they are, but as we are. Did you hear that? I'm going to say that again. We see things not as they are, but as we are. We are predisposed to see things in a certain way. And when we forget to question how we are seeing things, when we forget to set our hearts right, we begin kind of just projecting our pain all over everybody, and all we see is pain. But if we can see things from the heart of love, from the heart of the inherent goodness of all things, when we can set our hearts right, that little book, The Little Prince, The Little Prince. Only with the heart can one see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye. Only with our hearts can we see rightly, and our hearts must be set right. Love, beauty, grace, inclusion, joy. You know, I've never liked the desert. I always thought the desert was really ugly, dry and icky and prickly. And I've never understood people who like the desert. And then I heard somebody say what makes the desert beautiful is that it hides a well. What makes the desert beautiful is that it hides a well. And if I can set my heart right, I can see the well. And suddenly the dry prickly becomes beautiful. Suddenly I realize that the appearance is one thing and its beingness is another. And when I see rightly, when I see with the eye of the heart, I see only beauty in all people, in all things, in all life. And so as I consider this new civil rights movement that we are in the midst of, and I look at people in the streets taking a stand for what's right, I see beauty. Even if it's sometimes a little inconvenient to me. And I consider, what has been the inconvenience to those who have been oppressed for so long? But I see with the eye of the heart, and I do my best to set my heart rightly and to see the spiritual truth that the divine order is unfolding. You know, I was sharing with the board yesterday, I didn't always see my mom rightly. Is this anybody else? I didn't always think I got the right mom because I was not always able to appreciate the beauty of the mom that she was and that she brought to our relationship. But what's become clear to me in the last 2 weeks since she made her transition is that I got exactly the right mom. And that the times in our relationship that were filled with pain were times of deepening and opening more fully. And I can look back now and see those times as a great and mighty blessing to me. And, you know, if I can do that later, why couldn't I do that in the moment? I can't answer that. But I promise you that as we stay faithful to the principles, no matter what we're going through, no matter how deep the pain is, I promise you there is a beauty at the core and at the root of all things. And we will see it when our heart is set rightly, when we have the eyes to see. And so my invitation for you today is to be beautiful in consciousness, to be beautiful in awareness. I'm just going to check our chat really quickly to see. Yes, Allison, bless your heart. She's finding it a little harder each month to see the beauty because we are so isolated and it is taking so long. Who would have thought 4 months ago, you guys, that we were going to be where we were? Oh, I'm feeling free to create and express your brilliance. Thank you, Faith. Mandy, that's awesome. She's doing her creative vision board, right? The Sisters in Spirit did those earlier this year. Connie's reorganizing. I love that. Bringing beauty and order to your kitchen, reorganizing. I've been working on my bathroom drawers. Yikes. Mandy's reminding me that I once told her to be in the world, not of the world. And, you know, I didn't make that up. I took it from somebody else. Our opportunity is to be in the world, present, alert, awake, and aware, not of the world, not allowing the world to push us around. Faith, you have a new album out. She's releasing her 11th album after a 7-year hiatus, giving herself permission to be messy, to create something imperfect, create something imperfect. Know that its beauty is inherent in its beingness. And I promise you, the universe really is in a conspiracy for our good. And more beauty, more and more God, more and more divinity is revealed every single moment. So let's turn within and seal this message with the awareness that something greater than we are is calling us to express divinely and perfectly. And this something is right where we are, nurturing and sustaining and lifting us, powering us. And that whatever our pain, whatever our discomfort, whatever our inconvenience might be, this greater something is right where we are. And all it wants to do is express, and I declare and I know that right now we express in the coming week by creating a thing of beauty. That each one of us, according to our own sense of what is pleasing, what brings order, what brings a sense of balance and symmetry to our lives, that each one of us is called to create something new, a thing of beauty. And we answer this call with confidence. We answer this call free of any judgment or opinion or fear. We answer this call by simply creating, by being present to that which is calling us forth and allowing it to express. And so I close this message with a grateful heart and simply let it be. And so it is. Amen.
Where I am, God is. Where I stand, God is standing strong. Where I breathe, God is breathing life in and out and through me. As me, where I sing, God is. Where I dance, joy lifts my feet. Where I live, beauty's flowing free, in and out and through me. As me, for where I doubt, God is the faith in me. Where I cry, God is the comfort there. Where I seek, God is the answer. Here and now, forever and ever and ever. Where I speak, truth is. Where I work, love is my career. Where I play, God is playing boldly, in and out and through me. As me, oh, oh, do-do-do, oh. God is.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jean Palmatier, and I'm your board host for today. What a wonderful message. Beauty is all around us, isn't it? This is the time of our service where we make a love offering to one of the sources of our spiritual good, our center. So why do we talk about the spiritual practice of giving at every service? It's more than providing a means for paying the center's bills. One of the reasons why we do it is to individually demonstrate our faith that we're amply provided for, to express that abundance that we're born into, to underscore that we live in a beautiful, abundant universe and that beauty and abundance is all around us. We give because it's a reminder that we're already prosperous. If you're with us today for the first time, there is no obligation or need to give or anything like that. But if you would like to, and any of you that have, of course, been with us for a while, to give, all you have to do is go to our website and select the Give button, and it will show you all the different methods that you can use. You can also contribute by an automatic withdrawal on a regular basis, and if you do that, please fill out a pledge cord because it helps the board budget for things like events and offerings that we give to you. For those of you that are new, I want to say a couple of extra things. Our message is free, and under normal circumstances, if we were in a building, there would be a board member to greet you and to answer any questions you may have about the Unity principles that we live by, and to let you know that there's at least one person that you would know when you come back. So in an online format, that's a little tougher, but I'd still like to connect with you and tell you about the principles that have changed my life and could change your life as well. After I finish talking, I'm going to put my phone number into the chat. Please reach out to me if you have any questions or just want to learn more about us. We're glad you're here, and we hope you decide to join our community on a long-term basis, one visit at a time. As I close this, please know that we have already received the prosperity that loving circulation brings. And to affirm that, please join me now with conviction in saying our love offering affirmation out loud. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you.
And so we turn within and we give thanks for the gift and for the giver. And I consecrate these gifts to the good use of our center, knowing that they are richly blessed and that we are richly blessed, and that indeed a great and mighty work is created by the power of these financial gifts. I call it good with a grateful heart, and so it is. Amen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monica McDowell-Elvig. I'm your center administrator. We are so glad that you are here with us this morning. We see the beauty in you. And if you are visiting with us for the first time, please reach out. We'd love to know who you are. We'd love to connect. You can reach out through our website, through a phone call, through social media. We also have a weekly e-newsletter that will keep you up to date on all of our events and offerings and everything that's happening with the Unity of Bellevue online right now. If you go to our website, unityofbellevue.org, at the bottom of every page is a sign-up form for that weekly e-newsletter. So please feel free to add your name there. It's a great way to stay connected. Some of our online offerings this week. We have our Wednesday Community Connect, 1 p.m. every Wednesday. We are informally checking in with Reverend Marla and each other to help us stay focused on our spiritual principles and practices during this time of our pandemic staycation. And we'd love to see you. We have a great time, and please join us. The Zoom link is found on our website page, unityofbellevue.org/launch. Or you can hit the button that just says Sunday and online gatherings at the top of every page, and that'll take you to the buttons that have the links for all of our Zoom meetings. We also have new classes starting this week. They were pushed back a week, but that's practical spirituality. And we also have East Meets West. Reverend Marla is teaching both of those. There's time to register. Tuesday afternoon for practical spirituality, Wednesday evening for East Meets West. You can register through the website under events and classes and workshops. We're also doing a breathwork practice group this week, Tuesday night, 7 to 7:30. If you'd like to join in, please fill out a registration form for that, even though you can do it very last minute, but you need that just to get the Zoom link. There's also a Thursday night book study on A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. Reverend Dick Everts is facilitating that book discussion, and that is by Love Offering, and drop-ins are welcome. That's at 7:30 every Thursday night, and I believe it ends on July 2nd, so that's wrapping up in a couple of weeks. We welcome you to that. Jean has an announcement.
Hi, everyone. So have you ever wanted to be famous? Have you ever wanted to share that delicious family or best friend's recipe? Well, now's your chance. The Divine Dining Experience is expanding to a Unity cookbook. We're calling it Famous Family Favorites. So submit your recipes, dust off all those old recipes and prepare to put them on the Unity website. So here's how it's going to work. First of all, I'm going to try to share my screen here so that I can.
Probably
Can I
not.
do that, Monica?
Probably not, because I'm screen sharing.
Okay, so maybe we want to find a way to get this to people because there's kind of a schedule involved. But for the next 3 weeks, we need you to submit your top recipes. I'll put the URL into the chat. And when you submit your recipes, the form will ask you to rank them. You can submit 1 recipe for every category. And honestly, you guys, if you want to submit 2 recipes to one category and no recipes to another category, that's all good. It's all good. But the idea was you can submit 6 recipes, and the top 3, we're going to do a contest for Taster's Choice. So the way this works is for the first 3 weeks, you submit the recipes, and then for 1 week, Monica has a little bit of time to get those all posted to the Unity website. And then for the next 3 weeks, you get to cook and sample and enjoy and have fun. And this is in your safe community, whatever it is in the whole COVID-19 environment. Share them and then vote on them. And when you vote, with the highest ranking recipes will go into a Taster's Choice recognition in the cookbook. So the timeline here is 3 weeks to submit your top recipes. We're going to take about a week for Monica to be able to do some administrative stuff. Then 3 weeks to cook and have fun. And then we're going to take a couple of weeks to vote. By September, October, we're going to have a new cookbook. It's called Divine Dining's Famous Family Favorites. So just in time for the holidays. You guys, I am so excited about this. I did something similar a few years ago, and I submitted one of my mother's recipes, and she talked for years about being published. So, have fun with it. We're hoping that you'll think of new and creative things to do with it. In addition, Dorothy and Ken, 2 other board of trustees, will be submitting a section on wine and how that works with cooking. And we have some artistry we may plan for the cookbook. If you're interested in participating for that, just let us know. And we'd love to have your input. So for right now, go get those recipes, and I'll put the URL in the chat.
Thank you, Jean. And you can find the form on our website under events, under Divine Dining Cookbook. That's where you can find the link to put your recipe into our Breeze database so that we can start collecting them. Prayer chaplains, they are here and ready to pray for you. Today we're going to do a couple of different things. But first, if you have any prayer requests, you can go to our website under the prayer page and you can fill out the form. If you have anything that you would like to have them pray with you or for you, or if you would even like to have them call you to talk with you and pray with you, please put that in the message. You can also send them an email at prayerchaplains@unityofbellevue.org. Today we're going to attempt a prayer circle with a breakout room on Zoom. And so we're going to have anybody who is interested in joining that prayer circle, we want you to virtually raise your hand, not like this, but go to your participants box and hover over your name, and you will have the option to raise your hand. And if you raise your hand, then when we do a little bit of maneuvering here, we'll put you into that breakout room at the end of the service. Susan Neidig and Lynn Zeller are going to lead that prayer circle. So it's a new thing we're trying. And so thank you for participating in that. I believe that's everything. Have a blessed week, everybody. I'm going to hand it off to Reverend Marla.
All right, beautiful. So thank you everybody for joining us. It really is a blessing to be back. I want to say, oh my gosh, a whole bunch of folks have raised their hands because they want to be in the prayer room when we finish here. And I'm super excited about that. And so as we close, just join with me in conscious celebration. Pride Month, Black Lives Matter, new civil rights movement, healing and health and wholeness for all those whose lives are touched by COVID-19. Just join me in the conscious awareness of the perfection and the beauty of all things as we move into a stance of allowing, celebrating, blessing, and knowing that the spiritual truth of oneness is behind it all. I give thanks for it. Please join me in our prayer for protection. Oh, do we have the prayer up for our participants today, Monica?
I need the co-host so I can put it up.
Oh, sorry. Where did you go, Monica? Hang on. Oh, right. I messed up on you guys, just so you know, I was supposed to make Monica a co-host at the end of the service and I forgot. There you go, Monica. You should be good. So please join me in our prayer for protection as it slowly comes up on the screen. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week. Make sure you raise your hand if you would like to be put into the prayer room for prayer support. And we will see you Wednesday for check-in. Maybe we'll see you Tuesday for class, and definitely see you next Sunday.